O'Neill. 2 L's. I serve the SGC under a General Hammond.
We're explorers. You see, we're from another planet.
The unstable vortex of a forming wormhole. Kawoosh.
Indeed.
Hello interwebs, welcome back to the Kawoosh podcast. I'm your host Arne. I'm joined as always by my lovely host Evie.
Aw, you called me lovely.
Yeah, and we're already at episode 19 of season 2. 19, yeah. This one is called One False Step.
And we actually get a title drop in this one.
Yeah, we do. I didn't write it down when it happened, but we did.
I know where it is.
So let's get into the recap of this one. The episode opens with the gate opening. We see the Kawoosh going right up to the camera.
Well, they do that a lot in the opening because they want to, make sure people know what they're watching.
Exactly. And Sam is prepping a UAV to fly through the Stargate to a distant planet. And
they're prepping it because they're scientists and they're pointing at things, they're nodding at things, and then they're writing things down about the things they just pointed at. I always love it when they do that.
I did like the opening shot because it's a little travel, and you see Sam walking around the drone, and then she walks back and the camera pans to the control room and we see Jack and General Hammond in there, and then she arrives in there too, because when we cut in there she's already there. So it's a nice long shot to get into the scene. And yeah, we noted that there's I'm not sure if it's a new technician, gate technician.
Yeah, I wrote down who are you? You're not Chevron guy.
I think we might have seen him before, but I think it's the first time he had lines.
That might be true. And maybe he didn't even open the gate. Maybe they just put him in. No, he opens the gate later. He says incoming wormhole. Yeah. I always wonder, what went on, in the base. Are we on holiday? Do they have to draw straws? Or is it, a coveted position?
Good question, actually.
Oh man, I don't want to do the chevron.
Oh, I would love to do the chevron.
But yeah, you don't know if it's one of those jobs that most people don't want to do, and then there's this one guy who's just can I do it? Can I please do it?
Come on, how cool would it? Chevron 7 locked.
See, that's why you wouldn't be allowed to do it though,
no,
because
because I would do voices all the time.
Voices.
Chevron 7 locked.
It's and they keep scrapping people, and that's why there's almost nobody else who can do it, because they're the only ones who can take it seriously.
Yeah, Walter Harriman is the only one who takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they launch the drone through the Stargate, and on the planet it picks up heat spot, and apparently it's farther away from the gate than because they visited the planet, they didn't see anything around the gate, so that's why they sent the drone, and they find heat spots. They don't know what they are, and then suddenly, for some reason, they lose control over the UAV, and we see it crashing into some weird white plant thing.
See, the entire episode, they kept calling it plants. It looks a lot more like mushrooms to me.
Also, because we later on see the roots
but
going...
mushrooms aren't plants, so why don't they compare it to mushrooms?
Well, in the beginning you might...
Okay, yeah. It never looked like a plant to me.
It doesn't really look like a plant. It does look more like a mushroom, and it's interconnected. It has roots all around,
it's
going
white.
underground, connecting to water. So it does look more.
Just a little pet peeve.
Yeah, they keep calling it plants.
Because mushrooms are not plants; they are a whole separate thing.
So Sam wants to go get the flight recorder to find out what went wrong.
Yeah, because it crashed. I'm sorry, I interjected.
Yeah, it crashed into the plant thing. And
then Jack goes, "We didn't need that, did we?" And Hammond's
the deadpan delivery of those lines.
And Hammond just looks at him like...
So and while they are discussing this whole thing, they see somebody running through the image and then appearing, and it's a human or human-like head. It looks into the camera, and then we see the UAV being dragged away.
Another thing that made me go, Sam loses control. It's that's impossible. Sam, you're a scientist.
Yeah.
The whole thing of testing things is because you cannot account for every eventuality in the field. It might be highly unlikely, and you might be annoyed, but it just feels like that's impossible. That's not a very sciencey thing to say.
No, jumping to this kind of conclusion
Yeah.
is a bit weird.
I know they're all shorthand for
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Continue.
yeah, so this whole thing does confirm there's life on the planet, and then Jack goes like, "Well, this changes things a little bit," and we got to credits.
I just want to point out that some, maybe here, but maybe later, but while they're still in the control room, they say it's 6 hours there and back. Like they say,
Yeah,
it went
it's-
down. And the amount of walking back and forward they do, I made a note of it every single time. Like, I walk a lot for fun. 3 hours there and then 3 hours back. First of all, Daniel could never. Like, nobody has a sweat. They never mind. But anytime somebody steps out of the gate, I'm like, I'm gonna go over there. I'm like,
Yeah, you raise a very good point, because they make a point of it that it's very far
Yeah.
from the gate. That's why they're sending the drone, and then there's stuff going on in the episode, and for some reason they just go back and forth to the SGC as if
Yeah.
it's nothing, but it is something. You've just told us
and you
it
could have
takes
just,
a while.
and you could have just said an hour back, and that's still a long distance.
Mm-hmm.
That's still more than they would cover in a normal mission. But yeah, I was just like, I call bullshit. Like, I go for long walks.
Yeah, and it's never an issue afterward, the
Mm.
fact that they're far away from the gate.
It was just an excuse to use the drone. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So, when we get back from the credits, the gate activates on that foreign planet that looks suspiciously like Vancouver, and SG-1 steps through.
I would love it if we ever go out into space and everything looks just like Vancouver.
And then Daniel says, "Déjà vu," which of course Tilk doesn't understand, and then Daniel explains, and he says like it's like you've seen something before, and he goes like, "We did."
But we have seen this before. We were here.
We were
like
here yesterday.
Oh, I love Teal'c so much. I love him so much because Daniel's like, why did I even say? Like, he's just regretting his life choices.
But just the delivery again,
So deadpan. Like, he's not being sarcastic. He's
no,
just.
he's just like, but we've been here before. Of course, we've seen it before. And Daniel sneezes.
And he has. I don't think he's sneezed yet this season.
No, it's been a long
It's
while.
been a long time since he sneezed.
I think they say, let's go see the aliens, and then Tilk wonders if they're from another planet coming to this planet, aren't they the aliens?
It is
And
not.
they-
Is it not we who are the aliens? He says,
Yeah.
and I love that. And then Daniel goes, "Well, actually, like, no, Daniel, he has a point. You're visitors." But Daniel goes like, "No, alien is just a term for what is weird, what is strange to what you are used to." I'm like, "No, no, you're the alien."
Yeah, I'm not sure if that argument tracks, but it's like they start a conversation, and
Yeah.
because they have to walk a long time. That's what they told us. They have to walk a long
Yeah.
time. Anyway, they reach the weird plant thing from the crash, and then Sam immediately starts taking samples for medicinal purposes, which I thought was actually pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, on Earth, a lot of our medicine started out with trying stuff from plants. So
Most of 'em.
Yeah, she immediately starts testing the stuff she finds.
Please note they've been walking for 3 hours. Daniel is not dead. And he's
They don't
also,
look really
They
tired.
don't look winded. Also, if they really planned to be like away for at least 6 hours, they didn't even bring tents or like, I don't know, like something.
Yeah, good point. They didn't have any big backpacks with
No.
stuff or anything.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Daniel sneezes again, and then they follow the drag marks to some weird collection of dwellings, and it looks like some sort of round mud huts, like collections of balls, and it does resemble the plants we see.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the ground, they're like white
They look
balls.
grown instead of built.
I had a feeling they looked like mud in the
Okay.
close-ups, like mud.
Well,
huts,
yeah, but you can't grow stuff for
Mm-hmm.
alien shows. I mean, they're supposed to be naked, covered in paint, but you can clearly see. I
Yeah, they're
thought,
leotards.
like, costume-wise, this was one of the worst episodes in a long time. I mean, we've had some really interesting costumes that made me go, meh, but this one was bad. You could see, like,
Yeah,
I
they-
can totally see why you would put people in leotards. I mean, it's Vancouver, it's cold, probably, but you could see this line was so obvious, and you can just paint that away in a better way. And in the back, you really could see where like the zipper needed extra stitches and stuff. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. And it's not like you can't do it because you've seen Cats. Cats is painted leotards.
Unfortunately, oh, you mean the show?
Excuse me.
I love. Yeah, the show is. I thought you meant the movie.
I didn't even want to go to the movie. I refused. But no, I mean the show. You've seen those leotards. I've seen cosplay better than that. So yeah.
It does look like they had an idea and they just quickly whipped something together.
Yeah.
So they're looking out onto because it's in a plane and they're looking down into the plane, and then one of those white humanoids appears and he starts mimicking them, and then they greet him and he runs off and he's warbling in some kind of high-pitched noise, alerting the others. So of course the team goes to meet them, and we have this, and this was a really nice matte painting, like with because there's more than one village. We can see clusters of these balls, and
sorry, I really like how you say balls. I'm an adult.
But I also noted that most of the matte paintings in season 1 were static, and here we saw the team walking towards it. So it was a combination. It was a matte painting, and probably it matched the place where they shot, so they could walk towards the village in the background. Or maybe they had the balls and they just added some more in the background. But it was really well done. Very a lot of depth in the shot. They arrive at this little village, and the white people, I don't really know what to call them. We never get any name
The
or anything.
shroom people, in my head, I don't know.
So they just let them come in, and they walk around them, studying them. They mimic their gestures, and Daniel starts talking to them, and they actually mimic mouth movements without talking.
Yeah, I thought that was really well done.
Then they try smiling.
Oh my god, I was so upset at that. He's like, try smiling, and they show teeth. Do you know in how many animal species that is an act of aggression?
But also some cultures.
Yeah, why would you do that, Daniel? You should know better. Try showing them your teeth, like...
Yeah.
No!
But on that front, there was a lot of stuff that I was like...
Yeah.
Even Sam did some stuff that I was like, this is not logical. You should, like, if I can figure it out here in my couch, you should have figured it out.
Well, yeah, we do have a few years on them, but still, Daniel is, like, it being in his job, he should know that showing teeth is basically not a good...
Yeah, and at this point, they start surrounding SG-1, and they come closer. Tilk says he's not fond of this. He gets uncomfortable, and because they just start touching them, and then one of the kids takes Daniel's knife. So Sam goes to retrieve it, and then Daniel sneezes, and so the kid gets spooked, and then Sam gets cut.
And then Daniel says, no, it's just a sneeze, it's okay. And I got COVID flashbacks. And 2 seconds later, somebody drops down, and I'm like, no! Oh, I'm sure it's fine, Daniel, back at it again.
Yeah, but I think that's later.
No, you're right, that's later.
At this point, they withdraw, and then Daniel goes looking for the UAV. So he goes into one of the huts, and he sees one of the kids getting painted. He tries talking, and then for some reason he realizes, oh, they don't speak. So he starts drawing in the sand, which is just like his go-to move from the movie. They also start just drawing in the sand. So
what kind of got me here was they're trying to paint this off like, oh, they're primitive. But all I could picture in my head was like, if a cat wanders in your house and meows at you, you'll be like, it's trying to be a human. Like, that was the vibe I was getting from Daniel in this episode. Like, these people were just like, that's nice. We don't understand this strange creature, but it's obviously trying to, let's indulge him.
Yeah.
Which...
The problem is, like, they're human.
Yeah. No.
They're very clearly human. These are all human actors. They're also all male for some reason.
No.
I think that's deliberate, and they're bald. So they're meant to be humanoid but alien, but they should have gone further into the alien because
Yeah, but I really think that the budget was just gone in this episode.
Yeah.
I think
Or they
it
were
went
saving
to
it up
other. Yeah,
for
I
the
think
finale
it went
that's coming
to
up.
other episodes. But like the actors all did a good job. Like they moved all this. They all
Yeah,
moved
yeah,
the
yeah.
same, and they all did the same and stuff. And I just think it's funny that.
But it's hard
yeah.
to sell the idea of alien when they're so human, and that's why they come off as primitive. But they're not
but
primitive; they're alien.
But that's what I meant. They didn't come over as primitive to me, even if Daniel later says, "Oh, they're kind of primitive." Like he has a whole discussion with Jack about it, and he said, "Like, so they're not as evolved as we are." I'm like, you're the one acting like a creature
Yeah.
that, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know why they don't understand me." Like because you're.
But their culture is completely different. They have a whole different way of communicating, and for some reason they don't see this. I don't know. It was a bit weird. Anyway, so
And then at a certain point, is this where Daniel pretends to be a plane?
no, that's a moment later.
Okay.
Here he takes off his glasses, and I was like, here he goes again with taking off his glasses, and then somebody starts painting his face. And
Which is a bit like the cat wandered into your house and you put a hat on him. I just,
Yeah.
it was just like,
But it is kind of funny because like they're actually they are the aliens, and the people are very accepting of them, and
Yeah.
they take them in and start painting them and stuff like that. So yeah. So the rest of the team is waiting outside, and they're wondering what he's doing. And then we cut to the inside again, where he's mimicking an airplane.
and all the way in the beginning of the episode when the white dude shows up and looks into the camera, I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be an interpretive theater episode. But no, it's actually Daniel who does most of the interpretive theater in this episode. Like, he's flying around.
Yeah.
Which means he's, no, in cat speak, he has the zoomies.
So yeah, and then he comes out and joins the others, and he tells them, well, they're not really naked because there's all this paint that covers them. Like, yeah, sure, whatever, it's a leotard. And he hasn't found out anything useful, or at least that's what he says, because a moment later, the people bring them the UAV, so apparently it did work. They understood perfectly. And then Daniel sneezes again, and at this point, one of them just falls down onto the ground.
He says like, oh no, it's okay, there's something wrong, or I don't know what he says, but it was very much like, and then somebody falls down, he's like, of course I could be wrong, and I'm like, oh, he's saying it out loud for once. That's new.
Yeah, and then Sam goes and checks their pulse, and there's nothing, but they're still breathing, so yeah, there's something going on there, which we will find out later. And then they go on talking about what might have caused this, and the people around them start doing the warbling sound, the singing sound, and then another one drops to the ground. So they bring both of them inside of one of the homes, and then Tillich suggests maybe they should leave now, because maybe they are the ones making them ill. And Sam actually agrees with him, like, yes, that might be, and another one drops. So we cut to the gate where the doctor and two others arrive. They're wearing hazmat suits.
You know what they didn't bring? Carts. You know what they're carrying? Heavy boxes. And they walk out of frame and I walk into frame, and Doctor
Fraser, yeah.
does not look tired at all. And nobody even offers to take it off of her. Like, you said 3 hours. I would have brought a cart.
Yeah.
Just like
So-
the Malp can drive with things on it. That's what it's for.
Yeah, but time it did pass, because Jack and Tillich pick him up, bring him to the village, and by that time 14 have been afflicted so far. And Daniel tells them, like, I've been sneezing a lot. Sam got cut, so there was blood. The UAV crashed into the plant, and then one of them had
No, they
lubricant
don't even
of the
bring up
UAV.
the UAV crashed into the plant, but they do
Right,
say...
but they do say that one of them had the lubricant from the UAV
yeah.
on their hands. So they're not really sure what caused it. So there's different things that
Yeah, but
might
then
have
the
been-
doctor makes a very good point to say, like, well, it could be anything. It could be your deodorant, which is true. It
Mm-hmm.
could be anything.
The doctor also tells them that they're all clean. She has no idea what's going on, and she wants to take one of those indigenous people back to Earth to take a look.
Is this her first time off planet?
I think
That
so.
we know
that
of?
we know of,
Yeah.
that we've seen.
I mean, she probably it didn't look like she was the first time for her through the gate, but this is the first time we've seen her off planet.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not entirely
Feel
sure.
free
but
to correct us if we are wrong.
yeah, but I think so. So Daniel said that he wants to stay while they go back, and then Jack orders Sam to go back with the doctor because she's hurt, and then he, Daniel, and Teal'c will stay, and they will take one of the people back.
It does annoy me slightly that whenever there's a Dr. Fraser storyline, they team her up with Sam.
Yeah,
I
that's a good
don't
point.
know. I think it's because like the Cassandra probably connects them a little bit, but sometimes it feels a bit like, okay, the girls go over there and the boys go over there. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it because she is the scientist, so it does make sense to put her on medical stuff. So,
You make a good point.
Yeah, but I
didn't clock it, but
I could also just be missing. Maybe I just don't like the doctor. I'm sorry.
I used to love her, but
Really?
looking back to her, she's not well written.
Yeah,
Even in
exactly.
this episode, again, there's some really basic stuff that she's
The thing
missing.
is,
She's badly written.
she could be played with by anyone,
Yeah,
and that's sad because she's a pretty good actress.
she's a very good actress. Yeah, and she stays on quite a while. So I hope we're gonna get some better episodes with her because so far, it's not good.
No.
Anyway, I noted that when they go back through the Stargate, some of the villagers see them off, and these actors were so good because they look like kind of confused, a bit scared, but also worried because they're taking one of them, and all this without any work.
I really do think they went and booked like an entire theater company for this.
It could be,
Like
but they were
one of those groups
Yeah.
that does performance art on the street, maybe, or
they had like two main guys.
Yeah.
They were really good.
yeah, but even like everybody in the frame, you never saw somebody because there's always one extra in the background just like
nodding,
nodding,
yeah, nodding,
always. Even just if they're waiting in the there's always one, and none of them nodded this time. It was very impressive. No, I do have a major pet peeve. They went through the gate, and this guy is on a stretcher. You never carry a stretcher upward, head down. Why? They put him feet first, and I'm like, they really need someone medical on this show to be like, no.
Nobody ever thought of that, but yeah. So on Earth, they bring him back. He becomes conscious, and he even grabs Sam's arm. And then Sam tells the doctor about the singing, about the fact that they do this high-pitched singing thing. Back on the planet, Teal'c and Jack walk back, and then Jack almost collapses as they are talking about what could be responsible. And he also has a headache, but he says he's fine. And then on Earth, the doctor wants to take... And this is a point where I got like, no.
You got
Sam
so bad.
just told you about this whole thing with vibrations, and you're going to take an ultrasound. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Also, you've never before in the history of this show taken an ultrasound for anything.
Yeah.
So this was really just to make a point to the audience, like, hey, this is important. Like, but it just made the doctor look dumb.
Exactly. That was my
Yeah.
point. And even Sam, because she...
Yeah.
Like, maybe the doctor could have, like, done it, and then... But Sam should have gone, like, no, this might be a bad idea because there's the whole sound thing. But, yeah, okay. Anyway, so... Of course, the guy reacts to it and he starts warbling very loud. And then they go for I think it's an EEG. They do a scan instead.
Which, doesn't that work with magnetic?
Yeah, it's
Does
with
that-
magnets, yeah.
Isn't that also? I don't know.
It's not sound. It's
No,
not sound
no,
waves.
no, it's not
It's
sound
different.
waves.
It's
Yeah.
magnetic waves. So
I
it's
love the look on the guy's face. He was like, what is
Yeah,
going on?
And they have a look on the inside, and we can see that the heart is like in the stomach
Mm-hmm.
area. So on the inside, they're completely different. They look human, but they're completely
I
different.
mean, there's a rib cage. They're not completely different.
no,
but yeah.
but they're not human.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I think they could have gone a little bit further in this, but
Again, I don't think they had a budget.
no, and I don't think that was the main idea of the
No,
episode,
true.
but it would have been cool. So Daniel is walking around through the village, looking at all the sick people, and as he goes outside, he sees one of the people standing at one of those big plants, like the one the UAV crashed into, which retracts the moment he comes and wants to go to it. So it goes into the ground and it forms those little balls that we see all over the little plant things on the ground.
Now plants.
No, they're not plant. They really do look more like mushrooms because they're bulbous. So yeah, and white.
Sorry. That is also a very good word, yes.
Yeah. So Jack and Teal'c arrive and Daniel tells them about it. Like, oh, this thing came out of the ground, and of course they don't believe it, but and they say like, show us, but it doesn't do it again. Teal'c also tells them that a lot of the people in nearby villages are also sick. So apparently they did a little walk around in the time in between. And then at this point, Daniel and Jack start arguing, and it becomes more heated. Like the local people also like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Teal'c steps in and shuts it down.
Well, the main guy, they don't really have names, but the
No.
main guy is really like, he's looking from one to the other and he's making faces. He's trying to smile for them. And then they
Yeah.
go like, what's going on? And you're like, he's upset by your behavior. And then Teal goes, as am I. And I like,
Which
clock
was
on
a-
Teal.
It was a really good scene.
Yeah.
The guy really was trying to communicate with them. Like,
Yeah,
like
oh,
calm down,
something
I'm
wrong.
fine,
Like,
yeah.
no, don't fight.
And then Jack orders Teal'c to report or go to the gate and report back to Earth. So again, he's gonna be gone for a while. On Earth, the doctor is afraid or she's telling them that she's afraid that the subject will probably or is likely to die because his heartbeat is erratic. Hammond says that this was probably likely to happen at some point. So like the fact that they're gonna infect other people with something they bring from Earth. The doctor says it's a miracle it hadn't already happened, which I thought that's actually a really good point, and I like that they at least point it out because.
Even though, well, yeah.
And I think they already gave some kind of reason, like all the planets were very Earth-like because the people were taken from here to
they're
other
all
planets.
very much more human than
Yeah.
the people that we are encountering now. Also, I'm pretty sure, like back then, if you were in the military, you had to have all your shots.
Yeah, probably.
So I saw, I think right before this, like when the guy is in the med lab, I love how Carter is like, she is emulating these soothing motions that she saw on the planet. She's patting him, just like his people were doing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really nice moment that she was trying to, do that to him.
Sam also brings up that they can't really continue traveling around without thinking at least of the damage that they could do or potentially have done. So this was it was rather short, but it's really nice that they at least pointed it out and they had this little scene about it. Back on the planet, Jack is again mad at Daniel because he's videotaping one of the plants because he wants to prove that the thing grew. They start fighting again. They start yelling. And in the end, they both realize, like, we're not feeling very well. And then the guy that was following them around, one of the main guys, just drops right next to them. And they carry him inside. Jack is also feeling worse. And then Teal'c walks in and tells them that Dr. Fraser had little success with finding a cure.
Teal'c walks in and there's this dramatic swell in music. Did you notice?
No.
It was very dramatic. I'm like, what's going on? Carter has had no success. I'm like, no, like
Dr. Fraser,
Dr.
yeah.
Fraser. Like, what was the music beat? That was very weird. Like, I was expecting more dramatic news at that point.
Jack and Daniel want to go back to Earth to get checked out because they're not feeling very well. And Teal'c, I think he volunteers to stay behind because he is expecting that his symbiont will take care of anything. And then Daniel asks him to keep an eye on the plant for him. And then they start walking away, and they're and they do start walking, but like they're weaker, like they're not. It's not a steady step to the gate. And then they arrive on Earth and tell them, and and you can see it when the moment they start, they come through the gate, like their demeanor changes, and so they tell them like, yeah, we're back because we felt a bit ill, but now that we're here, actually, we're starting to feel better. So they go to the med bay, and this was a really nice scene. So they're sitting onto the same bed next to each other. They're checked out and they're fine, and they have this awkward apology because they yelled at each other.
And they're just sitting there and they're just like back and forward. And it's, they're both trying to apologize without saying the actual
Yeah.
words, I apologize. And we're like, yeah, and they're both doing it. So it fits really well. And they're both like, yeah, there's clearly just something wrong with us. And then Dr. Fraser appears and in the middle of it, well, there's nothing wrong with you. And they both like just go, oh man.
Yeah, and
Like, are you sure?
And then an alarm sounds, and she gets called away immediately because the guy they brought back is flatlining. Then on the planet,
Wait, is this where she says, normally I would try the defibrillator, which is also incorrect, but let's just
Yeah,
bypass that for
exactly,
now.
yeah.
But I don't know what this does. I know. She says, I don't know what that would do in this case. Let's try this. And I'm like, but you also don't know what that will do in this case. So that's a very weird logic. Like, let's just pump drugs into him in
Yeah.
like for as something else. Like, but you don't know how anything works on his body, so this is very weird.
you're not even okay. They did the scan, but you're not even
Yeah,
sure if
it was
if he has
just-
the same system.
It just felt like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Back on the planet, the bulbs have grown into the weird plant tree.
Stop saying
mushroom
plants,
things.
thank you.
Yeah, and Tilk is standing in between them, and he checks the ground and he rubs the sand away, and there's all these roots just underneath the top of the soil, and there's some green stuff coming out, and as he touches it, he collapses.
This is where the GM double checks and says, so you touch it. And then the player still goes, yeah, touch it. And then he's like, okay, roll your constitution. Like, like, no, Teal, don't put your hand in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
On Earth, Sam informs the others that the guy is stable, and then Daniel offers that it might be better if they bring him back to his own kind. Like, if he's gonna die, it might be better if he dies among his own people, which is nice. Later, Jack goes to Daniel. He's in his office.
Yeah.
And he's working. Jack tells him it can't always go the way they want, but Daniel gets angry because they are killing a whole planet. And in the background, there was a video of the plant thing. And then Daniel goes like, I'm feeling sick again. So he goes to the doctor.
This is where the title drop happens, by the way.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Because he starts ranting about like one
false step.
one false step,
Yeah.
and we kill an entire planet, and that can't be it. And
Yeah.
then they go like, wait, we're back to feeling bad again.
Yeah. And then they go to the doctor. She checks him out. He's actually fine again.
And then he just fucks off in the middle of
No, but he does
investigation.
realize, like, oh, I was watching the tape. So maybe there's something we're not seeing. And then Sam says it might be something they can't hear. So she takes the tape and goes to analyze it. And she finds sounds on it and isolates it and amplifies it. And it's like a low droning sound that is very unpleasant to listen to. And then the doctor tells them that, yes, that might be what was causing the problems if you're exposed to this for a very long time. So, and it also explains that it's why it's going on the planet and not on Earth. So at this point, suddenly they have an off-world gate activation, and
Wait, no, but is this not where Sam also figures out, hang on, do you have the recording of the drone from before, and then they compare the sounds? Or is that later?
no, that's later on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because at this point, Tilk arrives. He stumbles through, and he's clearly not well, but he starts improving as he arrives. And he tells them that the organism, or yeah, that's what he calls it, was attacking him. So he tells them that what happened, like the mushrooms grew, he wanted to approach it, and then he got sick. And then Daniel has an idea and walks off.
In this conversation, Teal'c says, indeed.
Yeah, you clocked that. Yeah.
It's not as Indeed that we have come to know
No,
and
because
love.
it was in a sentence.
Yeah,
I
it was
believe.
more like Indeed, but he said the words.
He said indeed, and then he continued
Yeah.
on. And this, I
Yeah.
think, this probably was the first
Yeah.
time. So Daniel goes to the control room and asks for the footage of the UAV, and then they analyze it, and they notice that after the crash, the sound on the planet changed. So that's what probably caused what is killing the people right now, and they need the sound to survive.
Because they have a symbiotic relationship with the shrooms.
So they bring Hammond up to speed, and in the medbay they are trying their theory out on the guy. They build the construction, they recreate the sound, and he gets better, and he starts singing very beautifully, like the
And then he
whistling.
smiles.
Yeah, and he smiles.
Which was a nice touch because he's using the human language he learned to let them know that he is better. So
So they go back to the planet and they install some weird tech in the village, and they say
they're just speakers.
yeah, they say goodbye to the people there, and they walk away, and they're gonna look at it from afar. So they activate the thing, and they see all the people walking outside the village, and they're singing, and then the shrooms start growing, and Sam says that like there's a symbiotic relationship between the people and the plants, and when they ask her why she thinks that is, she admits that she talks to her own plants. And then we end the episode on a wide shot of the planet, and we see all the plants open up, and on the inside there's flowers.
Which is a weird segue from the shroom thing. But yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I liked it a lot more than I thought I was gonna like it.
it was a weird episode, but it was a good episode, and I'm kind of sad that they didn't get more of the budget.
Yeah, they should have gone weirder with it.
Yeah.
That's my complaint. Like, they have had these ideas, and they're really good ideas, because this is something a lot of sci-fi shows do not go into.
Yeah, and have you seen shrooms? Like, there's so many weird ones out there.
And yeah, and the design, the people, like, they're bald. We have all these bulbs for the plants, like, and they're all white. They're all the same
Yeah.
white. So it's clear, and I love the fact that they have a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, and even just the structure of their skin, you could have gone more like...
Yeah, more like half
yeah.
plant-like or something. I don't know. You could have gone weird with it.
Yeah.
Would have been amazing. The cast actors were really good.
Mm-hmm.
They were, maybe they were even mimes or something, but they were so
That
good.
would make so much sense if they just went and booked a bunch of mimes.
Yeah, they were so good. The body language was really good.
Yeah.
And I love the idea, actually, and the execution. Like, there's some minor nitpicks maybe, but I think this was a good episode. It was a solid episode. It was a good idea.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be like, oh no, like, but that's because this is the thing that's printed on all the DVDs for this box. It's like 4 white people going like this, and Jack standing in the middle going like, like, which is a very weird still frame even for this episode, because it only happens once, and
Yeah.
that's when they're getting to know them
Yeah,
all
it's
the way.
all the way in the beginning of the
Yeah.
episode.
So yeah,
It's also not the most. The episode doesn't really represent the season as a whole. Like, it's
yeah,
like
but you know, it's like Alien. I don't know.
no, not even. I think
Yeah.
you should have shown the plant or something if you want to show.
It's
Alien.
not a plant
Mushroom. I'm sorry. It's not even.
or a fungus.
It's more like, it is more like a fungus. But
The effect wasn't bad.
no, it was clearly CGI,
Well, yeah,
but
but-
it was well
and it
done.
looked a little bit-
Also, the animation was really good on it.
Yeah,
and that sold it.
Yeah, it was really well animated. It was unfortunately always exactly the same animations. So
Yeah.
which makes sense because it costs money, and it just looked a little bit too clean. But
Yeah, it had that
Yeah.
the sheen on it.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't. It lacked a little bit of detail, but
seeing as the guys couldn't even get perfectly at hearts, then you know you can't fault the animation for not
But
looking more
it
pricey.
was fine. It didn't stand out. Like I said, the animation of the thing going into the ground and stuff like that really worked. So they put effort where they needed to put effort in this episode, which was the thing. Yeah. As a kid, this was probably one of the lesser episodes for me because
Yeah.
there's no action in it. But looking back at it as an adult, like this is actually a really good point. We just go around the universe, taking our germs with us like this, and especially
Sneezing on people.
after
Like,
the,
what is
after the
wrong with
pandemic,
you,
go
Daniel?
like, okay.
Like,
so
like
yeah.
Daniel, put a mask on when you're gonna sneeze.
Well, he didn't know, of course.
Well, you know, yeah, but
But it worked a lot better for
Yeah.
me now than it probably worked
Yeah.
when I was younger, and I want to just to shoot something like this
they
episode.
don't even shoot a lot in Stargate, so
It's
No,
their
well, okay.
go-to move, but yeah,
no, mostly they blow people up and then they go like "Wah!" on a jumping board and stuff. Like,
yeah, I love that. Yeah.
okay,
Any more remarks from you?
say balls one more time.
Balls.
There you go.
Next one is show and tell, and if I'm not mistaken, this is another clip show episode.
If you're right, that's the perfect title for a clip show episode.
It is, yeah.
It is.
So I have no idea what the framing of the episode is, so I'm really curious what it's gonna
Okay, well, knowing Stargate, it's probably gonna be another audit, like, tell us why this Stargate program should remain operational. I would not be surprised if that's their go-to for most of the clip
It
shows.
might be more sciencey because show and tell. Maybe they're showing some of the stuff they found during the season, like technology or something they they have come across or something.
We'll have to wait. and
We'll have to wait and see, and you can join us next week when we talk about it. So, unless you have something else you want to plug,
Nah, I'm good.
okay, then we will see each other next week for the episode Show and Tell.